Hello, everyone. Ohayo gozaimasu. Welcome to Ohio Anime. It's the anime podcast. It doesn't take place in the morning, but it is morning in Japan, so that's why we're getting away with it. My name is John, and tonight we're going to be talking about Sakamoto Days. It's airing on Netflix right now, so we'll be getting into that in spoilerific detail in just a bit. But for that conversation, we'll get some guests in here. We've got, let's see, add everybody in. Tony, Andrea, Phil, Bam.
Hey.
How's it going, everyone?
Super good.
Nice.
Doing well.
All right. Tony, it's been a while. Good to see you.
Oh, it's good to see you guys, too. I know it's been a very long time.
Yeah, you got a nice new brick wall.
Yeah.
Hanging up.
I do. I like my brick wall. It's like,
Nice.
I like blur the background, and then it just made it fuzzy. Like, you could totally tell it was behind me. I'm like, that's not blurring the background. I was like, fine, just put, and it's like, here's a brick wall. I was like, all right, man, whatever. I'll probably turn this off halfway through, but who cares?
Okay.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
Sounds good, yeah. Well, I'm happy to have you all here. Hope everybody's doing well. We'll talk a little bit before Sakamoto's Days, just see if anybody's been watching anything amazing, anything of note that everybody else should be jumping on board with. So, Tony, being you've not been here for the longest, let's start with you. Is there anything other than Sakamoto Days that you've been watching that people should either jump into or steer clear of?
Yeah. So, I've been, you know me, like I have a backlog of a ton of stuff that I've been trying to like get through. But I actually was kind of ahead of the game by watching Silo on Apple TV. So if you've never watched Silo, it's not an anime. It's just
Silo?
It's called Silo. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Silo.
an anime. Okay.
We only talk about anime here, Tony.
But I've been watching that.
Anime exclusive.
I've also been doing my backlog, so I'm finally like caught up with Solo Leveling. But I know I'm a couple weeks behind just because I have to watch the dub version because I watched the first season in dub version, and I was like, if I go to sub version, it's gonna be really awkward because like all the voices will be different than I remember. And then I started kind of messing around because I was I'm caught up on Sakamoto Days, I'm caught up on Solo Leveling, I finished Delicious in Dungeon finally, and I was like, cool, I'm a year behind on that, or that's what it feels
What
like.
show? That's so long ago. I can't even remember that show. What?
Yeah, that's way long. And I was like, I must be like really far behind, and it turns out I literally watched everything but the last 3 episodes. So I was just like, oh, cool. I'm glad I sat on 3 episodes for like 6 months. And I just love that. I'm very excited for the next iteration of that to come up. But that's kind of like where I am, like anime wise. And then I've been filling in DVD as I do dishes, just because it's like the one show that you can you can have on, but you don't have to pay like really close attention to because you go 3 episodes and be like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, I know what's going on. Only like one thing happened.
I mean, if you've seen it before, yeah, that's what Ashley and I are doing too with that. Like we don't. I mean,
sure.
Ashley has to pay a little more attention because she's missed a bunch of it, but still,
sure.
Yeah, get what you're saying.
Yeah,
cool. Well, that's plenty of stuff. It doesn't have to be 40 things.
Yeah, not everyone has to be an anime degenerate like me. So
yeah, right. Yeah,
but
we'll get to you in a minute. Oh, Andrea, we can't hear you.
You are muted.
Good gravy, Andrea.
I just thought that you were being expressive and gesturing and stuff. Yet,
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, I do like to do that.
There it is.
There you are. Okay. Well,
I was just saying, Phil, when you commit to something, you really commit. So, wear the degenerate title with pride.
Right.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, I just need to ask a question from a pod a couple weeks ago. Tony, is your real name Anthony?
It is. I do not go by it.
I know. That's just, yeah. we had a debate the other a couple weeks ago on the pod about
Was it a debate? I don't know if there was a debate.
I was like, and our friend Anthony, and you're like, is his name Anthony? I was like, I'm pretty sure all Tonys are Anthony's, or most Tonys are Anthony's, and you're like, are you sure about that? And I was like, I'm pretty sure. Then we talked about you're like, are you Philip? And I was like, yeah, I am in fact. And then you're like, oh, that must be why you always try to call me Jonathan, because you think my name is Jonathan. No, it's really just Jonathan. And yeah, I just watched that episode, so it was fresh in my mind.
I was going to say, you remember that very specifically.
A couple days ago.
I'm suddenly terrified of all of the conversations we've had in the past, but all right, the recorded ones, I get it.
I just watched that episode a couple days ago, yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Perfect.
Continue.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm glad you're rewatching them. Andrea, what have you been watching other than reruns of our podcast?
Obviously. Actually, I have. I was listening to a couple recent ones, and then YouTube suggested that I watch our very first one, so I did for a little bit, just for funsies.
Well, can we have it stop doing that? Can we have it? Because that's what we don't want. Like, hey, everybody, here's their latest stuff. Why don't you go back 5 years?
Right.
Started.
At least it doesn't like skip straight to one of our ones when it's like rife with technical difficulties. I feel like that first show actually was fine, and then there were a bunch 5 or 6 episodes in that we were just like, I don't know, video's gone, my sound's gone, like your internet's gone, So
the universe was trying to make sure that we didn't get discouraged on day one.
That's right. Right. We could overcome the obstacles.
Yeah.
See, I like doing that though, because I got recommended someone Warhammer 40K, battle report guy that's only got maybe 13,000 subscribers, and requested something from 10 months ago. So I watched it, and it was really cool. I was like, oh, this is actually really interesting. And I went back and saw how many videos he had, and I went and looked at his very first set of 4, and I watched a little bit of them just to see did he get better, or is he keeping a formula? And it's I was very curious about that. So no hate. I would say if it's go back 5 years, check it out. Check John. John has 8 different hairstyles through 5.
He really does.
Yeah.
I rock 2 long and short, and John is everywhere. John's a chameleon.
Tight bun.
Yep.
Yeah, sort of. I don't know. I feel like in a lot of ways, sort of settled. You probably see fewer radical hairstyle changes unless a specific cosplay I must do demands something different. So, yeah.
Well, now I demand that you do something different every time.
Okay. Yeah, at least every 5 years. Yeah, that it was a thing, So we didn't do a big anniversary stream, but we'll
not
talk
yet
about it tomorrow on the regular thing. But yeah, we just passed 5 years a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I suppose. So yeah, crazy.
That's cool.
Cheers.
Yeah. If we're doing cheers, actually, Andrew, right before you get to what you've been watching, look at this.
Ooh,
cool.
You fancy boy.
Coconut.
I know it is. Yeah, it's I normally save the drink things for the regular podcast, but I had to drink this before it went bad. And it's like,
pina colada.
So. All I did is
it milk
put
beer?
rum in it. What's that?
Coconut milk and rum? Milk beer.
Yeah. A clue to one of the shows I'm watching.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I know. It's I just put some rum in it. So
just rum.
Yeah.
Rum just in coconut.
Well, in the coconut water. There's coconut water.
Right. I was just
so it was a legit coconut.
Yeah, it's a legit coconut. I cracked it open. I drank a little bit of the coconut water out.
Did you carve it that way?
No, it was pretty much this way. I shaved off this part here.
Yeah, it's a nice bevel to it.
At the top. Yeah, but it kind of bevels a little on the bottom too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah.
Where does one procure this? Just pick it off the coconut tree out back?
No, I mean I know they sell them in grocery stores.
John's a farmer.
I think.
Right, he grows them.
Yeah, it's a perfect climate here for coconuts. Yeah,
totally. Especially this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
You just get them out of Whole Foods or something.
I know you can. Ashley got this somewhere else. I think she got it online or something. So
there's a Whole
I have a
Foods by you
boba
guys,
spot
right?
too. What's that?
Whole Foods out by you guys, right?
No, not biased. No,
that was a joke. It was a joke.
Oh no, I really want.
I know there's not a Whole Foods by you.
I really want a Kowalski's.
Because you live out in the middle of nowhere.
Do that joking over like a lead coconut.
I always think of the South Park episode where they get a Whole Foods and it's like the biggest deal in the world, and it's just like they become this like they walk around, they're like thanks, they get like Whole Foods and like all these different things happening in town. It's pretty funny.
That's funny.
That's really good. I was like, yeah, we don't have a Whole Foods. I'm like, just wait.
Someday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, anyhow, yes, I'm enjoying the coconuts. Andrew, you been enjoying any anime shows?
I have. Like I said, I dropped a wee obscure hint to a show that I've been watching at the suggestion of Phil. I started Zenshu. I've watched the first 2 episodes. And I'm glad I watched the first 2. I think like I was semi into the premise in episode 1, and then I really started to like get into the world in episode 2. So now I'm like, yeah, I do really like it.
Good. Awesome.
Yeah, I thought
it was the first one, and I was that same kind of. I don't know. I like this character, so I was ready to write it off.
Yeah, they're a little bit more engaging. I would give it 2. If you don't like it after 2, then sayonara. Okay. Like you're all good to quit. But yeah, I felt like 1, there was just it was still too new. Like I was still figuring out the world. Like I liked that it was self-aware. I like, can I be isekai'd into an anime? Like it was very funny, but it didn't quite get me until the second one, and like the interactions started developing more. So give it 2, John.
I'm 4 in, so I'm caught up completely, and it's getting better and it's getting funnier because the more the main character gets familiarized and develops friendships and relationships with these characters who already live in this world, the funnier it gets, because some of the stuff she says, her responses in like 21st century modern day popular lingo, is hilarious. It's quite funny, actually. And she does it more as the show goes on. And I just have to make a quick correction about this show. When I first was describing it in the Don podcast before I'd seen any of it, I thought she was isekai'd into the manga or the anime she was working
created.
On.
Yeah.
She created. It is not the case. She was isekai'd into her favorite childhood anime movie.
Yeah. That tripped me up just because that's what I was expecting. And then suddenly I was like, well, I mean, they explain it right away. So then I was like, okay, all right. Like, that's fine.
Still cool. Still a fun premise. Yeah. But not what I thought. She still does.
That explains our loss of subscribers after that episode.
Yeah.
That explains it. Like, this guy is wrong.
This guy says.
No longer reliable.
This goofball on that just shoots off at the mouth. He's just making up stuff. No,
wears crazy hats.
Wears a different hat all the time. And they're crazy and it's weird. And he's just, anyway. So this isn't much of a spoiler, but she can still, affect things with her art and her magic. So, which, and I'll say one other thing about the show, and I don't want to take too much time on this. I think initially it's like, I didn't love the first episode either. I thought it was just okay. But I mean, the animation is extremely good, but the color mixing, the colors are just amazing. I think that might be what MAPPA does best. Cause their remake of Ranma 1/2 is the same way. Their color choices are just incredible in some of these anime. I just love it. It's just incredible. Like when she does her magical stuff, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Super true.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I saw, I agree that the animation's nice, and I know the moment you're talking about with the colors and some of that. To me right away that screamed that someone was inspired by crap. It was last season or last year, one of the biggest shows. It's on it's a High Dive exclusive, Phil. It's definitely
Oshinoko?
One that Oshinoko, yeah. That's very rich in color and kind of transformation-y sequence stuff that's bright and
Okay, cool. Yeah, I can believe it.
Cool.
Yeah, it also gave me like the Elusive Samurai vibes.
Okay.
Just like
Interesting.
with the way they do, like, and that's not, I don't think that's MAPPA, but just like the animation and color palettes and stuff. It's just so vibrant. It's just
Okay.
There's a lot of anime like that, I guess, but
nice. Very good. What else, Andrea?
Well, obviously, Sakamoto Days. I rewatched, I had already watched episodes 1 and 2, and then I rewatched 2 and then moved on to 3 for today, just because I just felt like I wanted to get back into it. Because I hate watching things like too far away.
Sure.
And then, yeah, I've watched Apothecary Diaries season 2. I'm through the 3rd episode of that now. Nice. And it's so good. It's so solid.
Okay.
Really enjoying like the carryover from the first season, but still doing like smaller mystery things that only Mao Mao can figure out. Yeah. So they're doing a nice balance of like, we still have an overarching plot and we're going to like, weave these things in, but like, we're going to give you a little break too and have mini stories. So
I think that's one of the best structures if you can hit that balance.
It's tough. It's tough. A lot of shows go too quickly into one or the other, or they like sink too hard into like the overarching, and you see like a course correct in a later season. Like, oh shit, like we really got into like big theme storylines in seasons 2 and 3, and now season 4 we got to pull it back to our like episode of the week. So right now, I mean, we're only 3 in, but right now Apothecary Diaries is doing that well. So I hope that continues.
Ashley saw that the first episode of the season just got its dub.
It's just it's now dub release.
The first episode of the season? Nice.
Yes, the first episode only so far. But they've only released the first 3 in subtitle. And I do want to say, so Tony, I totally get where you're coming from watching like Solo Leveling in, because you're like, I watched it dubbed, so now I need to keep continuing. But like, I don't know, I've been experimenting because I was usually only a subtitle girl and I was very reluctant. I had a very bad experience with Death Note where I like just made my skin crawl, the dub version.
Painful.
Like
I barely survived it. It was terrible.
Seriously, like
it was life.
Like
trauma.
It made me do the like Ricky Bobby hands. Like I just couldn't, take it. So there was such a long time where I couldn't go back to dub, but now I've been like kind of experimenting. I'll watch something and I'll just like try a little piece of it just to see, and I've ended up where I'm like, no thanks, like I really like this way if I've started watching things. But like I told John and Phil, I switched midway through Don to Don. I switched from sub to dub, ended up liking it better. Just, on a whim, was just like, why not?
It's a two for me, because I think we've had this discussion, or at least I know John and I have had this discussion, and he still berates me about it. But I have 2 things. Like I sometimes switch to subtitle if I just can't stand the voice acting, because there are some people like they try to either mimic the inflection of the original character, but like you can't nail it, and so it just sounds like you're yelling into a mic, or it sounds like the character doesn't fit. And so then I'll try subtitle, and most of the time, I'll watch it. Like we did. I think I watched. What was the Formula 1 or the Formula 4, Formula 3 racing anime with Mike and John? I watched that like subtitled. I don't think I watched that in dub.
Sure.
Right.
And
overtake.
But the other thing is that I will sometimes have trouble watching subtitles. It's difficult for me to pick up tonal inflection in Japanese. Like it's hard for me to kind of really grasp the nuance of character emotion, because I can't, because I don't watch enough Japanese based language media to like really kind of hear that different inflection point. So I'll just watch dub because it is easier. And the other very lame reason is sometimes I'm watching at night and I'm like tired and half asleep, and it's like I don't want to read. I need to listen. I'm exhausted.
I totally get that. It's so much harder when you're tired to like make your brain do the full like. There's times when I can totally lose it. Like I'm not realizing that I'm reading. I'm just like watching, but I'm, absorbing the subtitle. And then there's sometimes I'm very conscious that I'm like, I need to look up and down, like at the subtitles and at the screen. So, there's totally times when your brain can do it. And sometimes your brain is just like, give, done, tap out. So I get it. But just saying, I feel like I've been more free with experimenting with that lately and been pleasantly surprised on some occasions. And sometimes I'm like, no, thanks. Like I'll just, continue on in the way that I prefer. So,
yeah.
Something that I have been watching subtitled, my last kind of thing for the week is My Happy Marriage on Netflix. I watched the second season, 2nd through 4th episode. So that's continuing to be good as well.
Cool.
Excellent.
Nice. Phil, how about you?
All right, I'm going to try to speed run this.
What's of note, Phil? Not your laundry list.
I know.
Like, what is of note?
I'm teasing.
No.
Let me just look. So I'm watching all the shows I've mentioned in past episodes. Just recently past episodes. One show I really like that I haven't met, or one show. Primarily, Solo Leveling is what I'm enjoying the most right now, and then also possibly The Greatest Alchemist of All Time, and Headhunted to Another World. Now I'm a Salaryman Big Four. Oh, and Zenshu. Anyway, a couple of shows I tried that are old that are really good. Black Lagoon. You ever heard of that, John? Black Lagoon.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. I really like that a lot. Like kind of like modern day pirates, but gives me like what's the show that we always talk about that's really popular that I can't remember the name of right now in space.
Cowboy Bebop.
God, thank you. Jesus. It gives me kind of Cowboy Bebop vibes, just like a crew of like kind of ne'er-do-wells who are like anti-heroes who like have a good moral compass, but they are stealing things. So,
Okay.
And then
I thought you were wrapping up the Cowboy Bebop joke or something. Like you're like, what's the name of the show? Like, what is it? I thought it was like a joke. I thought you were like literally leveling that up.
Yeah, no, I just can't remember it. I mean, I can remember it. I just that in the moment I cannot remember it. And then Record of Lodos War. Yeah, it's like an old fantasy. It's kind of like a very D&D classic.
How far are you in?
It's quite good. I really like it a lot. It's got like very much like 90s, early 90s animation vibes. I think it was like started in 90 or 89 or 90, 91, something like that. So it's cool. It's really good. I like it a lot.
Record of Lotus War. Yeah, that's very high on my my to watch list.
You'll like it a lot, I think, John. Especially just like you growing up watching anime and stuff. I think you're gonna dig it a lot.
What's that on?
Yeah.
Crunchyroll.
Okay.
Both those are. Yes, Black Lagoon is as well.
Okay. Yeah, I should try that because I've been meaning to watch that. I put it towards the top of my queue. That'd be a good one. Yes.
Yeah, I was the same, John. I'd heard about it several different places, websites talking about like popular all-time fantasy anime and things like that. It's always mentioned. I've had it on my list for ages. Finally, I was just like
anime cred watching that one for sure.
Yes. I finally was looking for something to watch and I popped it on and I dug it a lot. I'm probably 8 or 9 episodes in.
Okay. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, plan to do a season
obviously
discussion.
The Cat Behemoth anime.
Okay. How are you, like 4 episodes into that one now?
4 or 5 maybe.
Okay.
Okay. It's weird, but I dig it.
It's like cover image is giving me very War of the Rohirrim vibes.
Well, guess which came first?
I don't know. I am stumped.
There's a Studio Ghibli movie that has like almost that exact same like design. Because I just looked it up on Crunchyroll. It's like if Lord of the Rings was animated well. That's kind of the vibe I get from it.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's like, frankly. So
that's funny.
A little bit. I mean, it's not exactly like that, but definitely like classic high fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Not isekai. They all just live in this world. It's refreshing.
Sure.
You know, it's just
yeah. Tales of Earthsea. Tales of Earthsea. That's what I was thinking of. Tales from Earthsea.
Oh, sure.
I think that's the animation vibe I got from it.
Okay.
What, Andrea?
I'm sorry. There is a very awful live action movie called Earthsea. And it's so, oh my God. I got it as a Christmas present from a family member who was just like, you love fantasy. And like, theoretically, do you know what I mean? Like, theoretically, their heart was in the right place. They could not have known this movie was so bad. But there was like an opening, panning views and narration coming on. There is a place where the earth meets the sea. It is called Earthsea. And just like from that opening line, I was like, well, I'm going to have to drink now.
I mean, there is I believe there's a popular fantasy, like YA fantasy series, like something Earthsea. Andrew, help me out here. Earthsea?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's what this was based on, but it was just it was so bad. It was so bad.
Ursula Le Guin, something like that. Anyway.
Yes, Ursula Le Guin.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes.
Yeah. Earthsea or something like that.
But yes, really it's so bad. Dude, please do not watch the movie unless you are making it a drinking game, which I did of a Saturday night in college with my roommates, and it was a blast. But please do not subject yourself to that otherwise.
Like Science Theater 3000 level.
Yes.
The best. Those are the best.
Well, show I've been watching that I would like drink along to, I guess, and enjoy that would be Chain Soldier. So off of Phil's recommendation, I've still only seen the first 2 episodes, but I'm totally in. Like it's a fun premise. It's
nice.
It really is.
It's good.
Was the second episode where the reward, was that the one where she was stepping on him? No?
She got really big, and then her and him were left alone at the place.
Yeah.
They had to defend the place.
Oh, right. No. But then when she turns him into a beast, and then afterwards where she has to give him his reward, was she stepping on him in that one?
Oh, yeah. That's
I believe they were stepping.
That one was... That one is good. That was so funny.
She's stepping on him, right? Like as a reward.
She's like, I can't believe this is what your subconscious. He's like, what you want this? And he's like, that's my subconscious. I didn't even know I wanted this. It's hilarious. So good. I like it's really quite different every time too.
You can only watch this because you have to go to like the Crunchyroll area that's like in the back room behind the curtain.
Not that. It's not that. And no, not to
this show level. So far it nails a good balance of ridiculous with comedy, which is what typically they need. It's like
sure.
It's like High School DxD is that. This is even less raunchy than that. It's less raunchy than that. It's more.
I like this protagonist better too. The one in High School DxD, I've only seen a couple episodes, but isn't that guy like pretty like unlikable?
I don't think so. I think he's quite.
Oh, is he okay?
He's definitely pervy, but he's very funny. So like these characters are different in that sense. Like this guy's trying to be like a normal, nice guy and whatever.
Yeah. Yes. He's not trying to be pervy, which makes it easier to, I think, watch some of those shows.
Yeah.
If it's just like this guy keeps finding himself in these situations, he's not looking for it.
But it's also goes the other way then when you have someone that gets in these situations all the time and then they're like, oh, no. And they, cover their eyes. And it's who are you? What is this? This is not a realistic character now. Like, so it's a tricky balance. Like there's tons of these shows and a lot
I think Chain Soldier does a pretty good job.
So far, this is fun.
And there's like it's just a cool premise and there's some fun action too.
Yeah.
It's decently animated and stuff. So yeah.
And then Heavenly Delusion. I continued on that. I am quite far in Heavenly Delusion and
so good, right?
Yeah. Very good. It's it's holding up to the manga. So
Nice.
that's I wish it had, I don't know. I wish it had been on Crunchyroll. I feel like it would have gotten talked about more, from
Definitely.
the anime community in general, and received more accolades, whatever. Because
some of those shows, like Summertime Rendering is another one. I didn't ever finish it. I kind of stalled out in the middle because I just was watching other things. But that was another one that was like on Hulu. And I don't think a lot of people knew about it. You told me about it, I think, John.
Yeah.
And it's so good. It's like pretty dark and kind of like a low-key horror anime, I would say. But it's cool.
The same as Heavenly Delusion. You don't know what's going on. It's like they don't pull punches. It's
there's some dark stuff
there's a lot of stuff that's it's hard to find that sometimes these days. So
like scene and stuff. Yeah. I think if Summoner Wars Summertime Rendering was on Crunchyroll, it would have been super popular.
Those are different.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, honestly, right.
Yep.
So,
well, when it comes to an anime that's very different, far apart from Summertime Rendering or Heavenly Delusion, we got Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto Days was a manga that came out not all that long ago. I remember seeing it in Barnes and Noble, being attracted to its colors, but not picking it up. And I don't know. We have 3 episodes available now on Netflix. Subbed or dubbed, take your preference. The 4th one is available on Friday, I believe.
Maybe I saw pre-screening. Just kidding.
Pre-screening?
I'm kidding.
Yeah, press pass.
Ignore me.
You're getting okay.
They saw his watch hours on Crunchyroll and like, this guy. We need this guy.
Yeah.
They saw his year in review and were just like, damn.
Yeah.
Give it to him.
I guess it's just 3. I don't know what I was thinking.
So we'll get into Sakamoto Days here. It's I'll put up a little bit of imagery for everybody. So premise, we have it's kind of, this show is like John Wick if they were going to try to be funny, and it's an assassin, top of his game, decides to get out for the love of a woman.
Yep.
And as time goes on, he's opens a convenience store, gains a lot of weight, and but now that world is gonna try to not let him go.
Pull him back in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tony, what were your thoughts on these first few episodes? And did you know anything about it going in?
I knew absolutely nothing going into this. I this randomly popped up on my Netflix feed, and I legit just started watching the first episode, and I texted the group, and I was like, "Hey, has anybody like heard of this?" Thinking I was like ahead of the game on something, and you're all like, "Yeah."
Just had to slap you right down. Couldn't even let you have one.
Thanks, though, bud.
Oh wow, what a cool discovery, Tony.
I'm such a hipster. The premise of the show, like you said, this is not a new concept for a story, right? You got this, the Hitman Heart of Gold trope, like that's a pretty, you see that all over.
Yes.
What I liked about it was that it did kind of make a little bit of the humor out of it, where it's like, this guy who was just like ripped and like super powerful, and now you see him, he's got like a cup of noodles, and he's like 300 pounds, and he's just like, but he maintains all of the skills that he had, so he's still as quick, as powerful, he can still do everything, but he's just like, he's got like the ultimate dad bod, and I'm like, I relate to this. I relate, I'm not a college athlete anymore. I'm a dad. I got the dad, I gotta watch this show. And then the second thing was what really drew me in, like John, you mentioned the colors and it looked nice. It was the animation preview they put up on Netflix when I was scrolling through. Like, I've talked about this a few times I come on the podcast. I'm kind of a stickler for animation styles. Like, if there's something that's just too out there animation-wise, like I can't concentrate or I can't figure out what the hell I'm looking at, I'm not going to watch it because it doesn't really appease me. It could be the greatest plot ever, but I'm like, if I can't watch this and enjoy it, then I'm not gonna watch it. I love this animation style. It's crisp, it's clean. It's got great color balance. The action is balanced really well with humor. It doesn't lean too far in one direction where it kind of loses itself. The main characters so far in the 3 episodes, they have a really good balance, I think, now. Kind of, you have the young upstart assassin who like really idolizes this guy. You have the old curmudgeon, I'm not going to kill anybody, but like I'm going to hurt him. And then you have like the wild card, right? The girl is kind of like this wild card where she's just a little insane. And so, I like it. I'm drawn into it. I'm kind of excited to keep watching it. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm. It's good. It showed up on top of your feed. I see that it's like today it was number 4 in the U.S. or something.
Yeah,
number 4 show. So
yep,
it's doing well.
Yeah. Has an anime on Netflix ever done this well, just in the mainstream? Like,
I
TV
mean,
shows?
Kind of, if you count Castlevania.
Yeah, no, for this I wouldn't. Like, that's pretty good. It is more of a mainstream idea and like concept, so I could see where average Netflix viewers would like it over like something very anime-y that they are like, whoa, what's this? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's probably still a big subsection or subset of the population that they like anime, but Netflix is the service they have.
Yeah.
And so they're not, there's a lot of anime on Netflix, but it's not always the new thing or the new hot thing, So when something shows up that's
new and hot,
kind of, that's known a little more. Hey, we get this instead of having to wait like Demon Slayer. Pete and his girls watch Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Well, they're like a full season behind or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just we have to wait. So
no, thank you.
It's you're never going to get those top charts things probably if you can't hit it on when it's really coming out.
Yeah.
Right.
But,
except for a select few. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every once in a while. Andrea, similar thoughts to Tony, or did you know anything else going in?
No, I didn't. I know Phil had mentioned it, and it was also like advertised on my Netflix feed, like, hey, we think you'll like it. And I was like, yeah, I think I will. So thank you. I enjoy the premise. I think what's funny to me about this is like, obviously this is a little bit more ensemble than, our traditional loner hitman type of, films or shows. But also I like that there's just like unexplained things and skills that people have, and everybody's got something, like it does seem wildly improbable that Mr. Sakamoto would be this skilled after, like being away for so long, gaining so much weight, but he's still just like as sharp as ever. It seems kind of improbable, but like if he's sorry, Phil. But I mean, if he's like doing all of this, it's cool that like Shin is over here just casually telepathic, like reading minds.
Right.
Awesome.
Jumping over roller coasters.
Coasters. I mean, that was more of like an inline physical skill.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like, or like this new guy we just got introduced.
It can be invisible or turn faces or whatever.
Turn faces, and it's like, is that like a shape-shifting thing? Is this like a glamour? Are you just really good at costuming and makeup? Like, what is it? But we don't have to like, understand it. It can just be a little bit wild and unbelievable because everybody's a little wild and unbelievable.
That's the part I like about it, Andrea, because they are a little like crazy. What I love is that nobody reacts to it, right? So like in some shows, like
it's fine.
There's like an insanity thing, like in Demon Slayer, like half a building explodes. The people, like the NPCs, right, using quotes, NPCs of the town react to that. In this one, no one reacts to like the insane things that are happening. like these two guys with guns on a roller coaster, and like everyone's like, yeah,
you know, just I see nothing.
Yeah. Right.
Nothing. You know, or like my favorite is the fight scene when he's dressed in
the bunny.
suit.
Yes.
Like, nobody's.
That gave me like Family Guy vibes.
Well, and I really enjoyed that too, because again, it was like so wild and unbelievable, and I was just like rolling with it. I was like, sure, like this is happening. And then it was even better when I understood like Shin was getting telepathic directions from Mr. Sakamoto. I was like, I was already there, like it was wild and improbable, but I was going with it. And then it was just like, oh, they do have an explanation, but it's still wild and I love it. So, you know, I feel like that this show does that very well. Like there's wild stuff, but it just enhances the show instead of being like, I don't believe that.
Sure.
The only time I ever thought like, is when Shin fell on his back while jumping over the roller coaster. And I was like, ooh, like, we're fine. We're totally fine. Okay.
Right.
Because like, I don't know. I felt like a lot of other times there was like good landings, but that time was a bad landing.
Yeah. Well, he tackles him like off the top of the roller coaster onto like the stage. Like they fell like 100 feet.
But they like don't show them landing.
Right,
and they don't show them landing, so you don't see them like landing on a body part. So they just like they're now on the stage, and it's fine.
It's like the Fast and the Furious, where they're just like, we're just gonna jump this car across a ravine. Now we're just gonna pull this safe across a highway for about 5 miles. Now we're gonna
push cars out of planes.
Jump off a moving car and catch someone onto another car. Like you're just
absolutely
like, sure, whatever. Well, but it's like the same kind of vibe where when I'm watching Fast and Furious, I'm like, whatever, sure. Vin Diesel can totally do that. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here for it.
It's a hard action.
I'll believe it. Why not?
Yes, it's
like
is.
That. I was like, but when I agree, when Shin like it was right around the time he like jumped out of the roller coaster initially and then caught himself on like the edge rail of the. I was like, whew, we're just going places now. This is just this is happening.
The other thing I really like is this show does have some kind of like darker skirting edges, but then also some serious moments. I really loved, the flashback we got in episode 2 where, I love this like entering into Mr. Sakamoto's thoughts via Shin. And I loved that like brief little backstory blip about like how the Sakamoto family rules, the most important being don't kill anybody, came around. It was a sweet moment. It was very thoughtful. It like really set up who he is now and how like crucial he is and involved he is in the community. And then also I love that we get a lot of like his Shin killing fantasies, which feel like he's needling Shin, but it's also like very reflexive. Like he still thinks in assassin and he's got to like filter that.
Sure. Yeah.
So sometimes it does feel like he's like, gonna get you with this little fantasy of mine. And sometimes I think it is just like, that's my first thought. Like, I could solve this by killing you. Nope. Can't do it. So.
I thought his wife wasn't to know. Like, I thought that was going to be like a premise, was that his wife never knew kind of what he had done prior to.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And then the episode where they're on the roof.
Yeah.
Hauled ass off the roof, and she's like, I'm just and then like he dives after her, and I'm like, oh, so you're like both insane. Okay, so that's you now. That's why.
They match.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's not like some sweet wilting like I have no idea. Oh, you're covered in blood. Oh dear. She's like, okay, I'll just show you how it feels.
Yeah, serious Smith shit.
Woo, yeah.
Yeah.
John, what are your thoughts?
Well, I agree with a lot of that. I think it's a fun way to have a little background sort of exposition. That's a clever in-world way to do that. I do love the little snapping necks and different kind of visions of killing options. And then it's just a good fill in for Don being gone right now. I just want something that is this sort of fun. I don't have to worry about what's possible or real or whatever. I just go along with it. And so that's been great. I mean, I knew it right away from like the biggest thing for me that was probably catching bullets with chopsticks. It's like, okay, all right, we can, anything is possible at this point.
Sure.
So I'm perfectly cool with all that.
Deflecting one with a gumball, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or his glasses, his bulletproof glasses. Oh.
Yep.
Glasses.
Yeah, he breaks all the time though. They keep breaking.
Right.
I know.
Well,
I
so
love
do
it.
Okaruns, but then they always seem to repair themselves. So
Yeah.
Hermione's around the corner. Oculus repair constantly.
Right.
I love glasses breaking is definitely just like a vibe signal, and that's.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm glad you said that, Andrea, because I couldn't stop laughing during the third episode. The bad guy, I can't remember his name, but like he's got like, the
vibes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And all like breaking my vibe. That's a great vibe. Did you stop, dude?
So much vibe.
It's like it's like a millennial or a boomer or a Gen X trying to talk to like a Gen Z, and they're like, "Stop."
It was. It so was. Oh god.
Yeah, no, he was fun. He reminded me of the villain from Hunter x Hunter, though. I thought that was interesting.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, it was cool. I like the where they're going with the different very
the association
crazy character list of different assassins that will have their own abilities or whatever. I like that you said, Andrea, that's kind of an ensemble a little bit. I do appreciate that so far they've had things to do as well. Like it hasn't had to be just Sakamoto, so like he has day off, and so it was came to others to help out. So that's good. I hope that trend continues, that others have a role to play and they're not just like constantly saved or whatever. So that's fun. Yeah, it's a good, nice opening 3 episodes. Just what I'm looking for. Phil, you on the same page or?
I am, although of the 4 of us, this is gonna be a kind of a turn here, but I probably am liking it the least of all of us, I would say.
Okay.
Which is surprising because usually I'm like, I love all these shows I love a lot.
There's no little cats and lady with size triple.
No. Okay.
No nipples.
Okay, so it's not that I don't like it. I do really like it. I don't like it as much as I thought I would.
Sure.
I'm not exactly sure. I can't quite put my finger on it. I enjoy it. This most recent episode I didn't like as much as the first 2. So maybe that's why I'm just feeling not like,
okay, I
don't know, super excited about it right now. I agree with all the things you guys said. I do enjoy it. I was kind of thinking about it earlier, and I think what areas where I would like it more, I should say, it could be better if I think I'd like to see more interaction between him and his wife and him and his daughter. Like they're just kind of there, and like there was the flashbacks, scene, but like they're not really part of like the conversation very much. They don't really. I feel like they don't interact with Shin or even like Sakamoto that much. It's like Sakamoto's like it's like all of the narrative conversations happening between like Shin and other people and Sakamoto and Shin like internally and Shin and this new girl, and I was like, I just don't feel like I feel like it's all about these 3 or Sakamoto, and then they're just kind of there. I think I don't know. It just seems like he gave up his whole life for like these are the most important people in the world to him, and it's like all about him protecting his family. But I don't get a good sense of his family that he's protecting, I guess.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a point in the next 5 episodes or something, 6 episodes, where his daughter gets taken.
Sure. I'm sure you're right.
We see this play out more of why he is the way he is with his daughter and his wife. But then that's also going to test his main character arc of like, well, are you going to kill somebody if driven to the point that decision needs to be made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So
I'm sure he'll be forced in a situation where he has to like kill. So you're saying maybe he'll have to kill someone to save his wife and daughter, and it's like, do I break my
the
oath to
family
them?
rules, yeah. Because they're making a fairly large deal of those. Like we've gotten a lot circling around like that rule, why it is. Now we have like a written copy. You're in the family. You have to obey the rules. Like there's a lot of big deal made about it. So I get what you're saying, Phil. I think we're still in like the exposition-y piece.
You're probably right. Yeah.
Where, I mean, episode 1, there was a bit more because it was just Shin.
Sure.
We've very rapidly exploded like the rotating assassins and, new characters. So, so I think it was adorable that his daughter was very like, hey, you're an assassin. Let's wake up in our bed and like, let's, come watch my TV show with me. And, there was a bit more there and now there isn't. They are just kind of like background to be protected.
Yeah.
But like Tony said, I think that's going to change pretty rapidly.
I think you're right. It's just so far, I'm like, I like it, but I'm waiting for it to really take off, I guess.
Sure.
Because I mean, I think they're like building their ensemble cast. Obviously, it's still early, and so they got Shannon, this chick now, and then I think that guy with the big eyes who tried to assassinate him first last time is going to somehow be their friend too. So okay, that's fine. Bring in some people, but then like I want to also see the interaction with his
circle back.
Let's circle back. It's like it's his wife. He gave up. Maybe I'm just like projecting because my wife is there all my life. But I don't know. I just think like I want to see him interact with her too and his daughter. But
sure,
I guess I'm just like looking for areas, nitpicking, I guess. But overall, I really enjoy it.
I mean, we get once in a while the reminders, like our little flashback. I think that's well done and important. It depends on what you want from the show. Like, I don't know that I mean, if they do it well, of course, but I don't know that I want another mid-season Don situation where I'm weeping because we have the whole thing with the child now. And like, it's like, okay, well, this was a fun show. And now,
no, I don't want something tragic to happen. I just want them to be more involved in the narrative conversation. Generally,
I mean, but you know that he's going to want to keep them, and they're going to want, and the mother's going to want to keep their daughter out of this stuff as well. Like this is not a, oh hey, yay, the assassins are coming to get me now. Like it's a stain on his life. He wants them not a part of it. They don't want to be a part of it.
I think it's going to be very telling for the show how they approach this. So we've just got the setup now that like there's a huge bounty on Mr. Sakamoto. He now knows it and now like knows assassins are coming after him. Right. How are he and Shin and Lu Xiaotong going to handle this? Are they going to like tell his wife and like bring her in, or are they going to be like, oh no, she just has to be in the dark and we'll just like keep protecting her? That's going to be like giving a vibe about how the show is going to go. And how the show is going to treat those two characters. Like, is she going to be in the dark, or is this like I don't really know what happened or why, but everybody decided to come back after me. I haven't killed anybody, but we got to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
She reads to me as a relationship at this point where there are no secrets.
I agree.
I agree. I mean, she knows everything, but also, like I said, I think it's just going to be how the show treats it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be telling.
Yeah. I think the animation is really good. I don't know that it's like top tier level, like what I guess not as good maybe as I was expecting it to be.
It's simple.
It's simple. Yeah, I enjoy it. It's not, but it is more, simple. There's some chatter online that, some people who read the manga are feeling like it isn't done well enough to represent the manga, which apparently is really good. So, I don't know. I don't read the manga. I couldn't speak to it myself, but yeah. No, I think it's good.
Tepid. It's good.
Yeah. It's good. I think your guys are right. It's going to get better. I do enjoy it. But I'm not like as in love with it as I thought. It was like one of my most anticipated anime that was supposed to be coming out this.
Yeah. I mean, I get it coming in with the hype.
to. It was hyped up a lot, I guess.
You're coming into it with
I hyped it up.
You'll be like me with Dun to Dun. If I
Sure.
went into that knowing what I'm, hoping for, and those hopes are high, and I get in and it's just like, well, this is fun, but the art could be better, like it is in the manga or whatever. Yeah, that would be disappointing. So I can see that. But for me, this just fills a gap right now in like a lineup of things that I choose to watch, and this will be a fun one to watch every week.
Agree.
Yes.
I'm definitely watching it every week. I'm not like, I might watch it, I might not. I'm committed. I'm certainly like well enough to watch it weekly, but I don't know. I think I hyped it up for myself so much that I was like, I really like this, but I'm not like blown away.
Yep. It takes me a while to get over the idea that he got so fat. I'm just like, look how cool you were. You were so cool. And then it's like, oh, well, okay.
It was a wild jolt from the beginning when it was like, I wrote this in my notes. It was like Neo in the hotel lobby in the Matrix, just storming, unbelievable. Yeah. And then, we like come to this like convenience store and he's like enormous, just soft, like big, giant panda bear of a dude. And he's just like, it was kind of cute to like see him like lay on the floor and just like freed. His daughter climbing over him.
It's also
yes.
really necessary for him like moving his fat around to avoid bullets and stuff. It's just
yeah.
Very, very, very fun stuff. Very fun stuff. Yeah. Got to have a little wiggle if you're going to do that.
Yep.
So yeah, but I've gotten over that for now. But I still had like the hope in my back of my head that like he's gonna get a hold of himself again. I'm like, we're gonna see his former self, but I don't think we're going to. I don't think
so. This way.
His gripe is like he can't be fat. He needs to get a hold of himself. It's like
he seems to do quite well for him, either way. So.
Yeah,
I do enjoy that he's
best life.
Virtually untouchable. Like, he's basic. I mean, he's like, he gives me like Saitama vibes from One Punch Man. You just like never have to worry that something's gonna hurt him. The guy in the second episode just full on kicked him in his face through like a wall into another building, and then like a couple minutes later he was just like there, completely recovered and ready to karate chop him in the neck.
Yeah, it's like, I pulled a muscle, man.
Right.
Relatable.
The Japanese have done. Those are funny moments where all of a sudden, like, he's got a little medic just attending to him. He can't do anything else in the battle, so he's just like, "Oh, here's a bandage for you."
That's what I loved about the balance of these first 3 episodes. Like, they could have played up that as well, like Shin just being his little like squire, like, let me like bandage. Oh, like hurt. And then in the third, it was like, okay, like, Mr. Sakamoto's really got to stay with his family. So like, Shin, you get to do some cool stuff. So I'm hoping like, they're going to give like Lu Xiaotong her episode too. But that was nice that they didn't lean too hard on that dynamic.
Yeah.
But it was very funny at the time, for sure.
I think, you brought it up, Phil, that is like Saitama kind of. And I think that it's something that maybe other people have done it really well in other media too, but just for me, I've noticed it in anime that the Japanese have managed to do a great job of taking almost the challenge of let's have our main character be uber powerful, like just unstoppable. And how can we still make that really interesting? Because that's always been like, for me, the issue with Superman. It's like, okay, I get it. When you're a little kid, you want the beacon of hope that you look up to, that's impenetrable, whatever, like always save the day kind of thing. But as soon as you want to get more interesting with that, you sort of have to ruin what that character is.
Sure.
And they've managed here in the case of Saitama, or in Jujutsu Kaisen with Gojo, All Might in My Hero Academia, all these different things. They managed to take these characters that seemingly are indestructible and then tell a really fun story around it regardless. And I think that is a pretty impressive feat, really, and to require some creativity. Yeah, I like it.
Remember when Saitama bit a samurai sword? So awesome. God, I love that scene.
No, I haven't seen a lot of Fun Punch Man, so I don't know.
Oh man, that's still such a great show. Season 3 coming out sometime, hopefully, maybe this
so
year.
Much media about One Punch Man. Like I see so many memes and like so many references to it, and I'm like, I've never watched this show.
Check it. Do yourself a favor, Tony. Check it out, man.
It's very good.
Watch it in Japanese. It's better in Japanese.
I agree.
The character just lends itself well to the way
you lost Tony. You lost him there.
No, honestly, it'll be worth it. Don't watch it before bed. Watch it like it's it'd be scary for your daughter. Don't watch it around her. Probably there's like monsters and stuff that he fights.
There's a lot of stuff I don't watch around my daughter.
Sure, there, good, wise man. One Punch Man. It's where it's at. It's so good.
I was watching something completely different on Netflix, and then I came to the end of it, and it decided to show me the trailer for the new season of Castlevania Nocturne that came out. And Everett was standing near me, and she just looks up and goes, "Mommy, I think that's a scary show for me."
Yeah.
I mean, agreed, but like, way to know your limits, kid.
Yeah.
Right.
Also that.
I wasn't pre-screening this for you.
Right.
Yeah. This wasn't like
That's
in
funny.
consideration for you. Like your dad and I just had a conversation about Pocahontas being too strong for you. Like, I'm pretty sure Castlevania is not in rotation.
I haven't seen that in ages. I don't think the girls have seen it.
It's Peter Pan for me. I don't know why.
It is.
I'm gonna start spamming you with One Punch Man stuff now, Tony. That's
Do it.
Just so you know. So you watch it. That's how I operate. So it doesn't always work on John, but I think
I was to say it really works, right? Yeah,
it doesn't work on John, but you're less stubborn than John is, Tony. So
I do remember a very persistent, again, Phil, persistence. I do remember a very persistent Blue Eye Samurai campaign.
Yeah.
It was a noble effort for a very good show, but yeah.
So was that
nowhere
for you, Phil?
You tried to get. Sorry, what, John?
Was that 0 for 2 for you, Phil?
I got you watch. I feel like all of us got you to watch Solo Leveling.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yes.
okay. That's but it's yes, that's a little. I don't know what to say about
Yeah,
that.
but the main character, the guy,
That win. If you want to take that win, I guess you take that.
John's not willing to admit you're 50-50. He's like, no.
Taking a partial win on that. Blue Eye Samurai and Rings of Power, I think, are the ones we've argued about the most.
True.
Probably.
Yeah,
I don't think argued. I think I've just let you say what's your piece, and I said,
"Oh, we've argued, buddy. It's all other arguments."
John,
Roll the tape.
There's a great new show on Disney Plus called Star Wars Skeleton Crew. I think you should watch that.
Why don't you just recommend the live action Cowboy Bebop next? Like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've heard it as well.
I'm sure
JP likes it. That's why he's on it. Why do you think he's on the show anymore? And that's why. Your opinions.
JP likes a lot of things.
Oh God.
But
John's gonna like sign off now, just angry. Stupid. Worst episode. We tease.
Okay.
We tease because we love you, John.
Exactly.
Yeah. No,
and your stubbornness.
And your stubbornness. No, it's fine. But
John,
John,
we've talked about it.
Sorry, go ahead.
I caught nothing from no one. What just happened?
You go ahead, John. Go ahead.
I was just saying, we've talked about it before, but like in this day and age, there's so many things now at your fingertips. You just have to be selective.
I agree.
Like if there is an inkling of a reason to not watch something or whatever, it's just not worth it. There's too many things. I cannot keep up at all with the things that I am interested in at this moment. So, and that's just in shows. I have books I'm in the middle of and games I'm in books. You just only have so much time. So it's just, you gotta, that's why, like, Andrew and I have talked about on the podcast. We're just, there's no reason for us that we can't watch things that we're both interested in watching. There's enough,
Sure.
like one of us shouldn't have to watch through a series that we're like, oh, I don't want to watch that, because why? There's plenty of things that are out there that are options we can talk about. So, yeah.
That being said, I do think you should also watch One Punch Man, John. You watch it, Tony watch it, and we'll do a pod. We can do a throwback pod about it in a couple months. And then season 3 should be out sometime later this year.
Well, that would be the thing. It would be maybe to kind of
Do
a
it right
binge
before.
as season 3 is about to show up.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
When they announce, when we know when it's coming out, then we'll do it.
That might happen. Yeah, that could happen.
Okay, cool. Tony, you in?
Yeah. Check it out. Netflix or Crunchyroll?
I'm still going to spam you, but yeah. No, what about Crunchyroll? I think it's on Netflix, actually.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Or it used to be. I'll look into it as I start spamming stuff.
I would venture a guess that the new season would show up on Crunchyroll, but
the new season, yes.
Right.
If
Yeah.
you were to start it, I believe the season 1, I think, is on Netflix. I don't think they ever season 2 wasn't as good. So, but you could even just watch season 1 and then wait on season 2 until season 3 is announced. Season 2 is different animation studio. They didn't do as good of a job. There's a lot of blowback on it. So, and then they've been off forever. The manga continues for ages past the anime.
Well, they don't want to let people down with season 3, I guess.
Well, they better not, but they should do it at some point. It's been forever.
It was like Yu Yu Hakusho. Remember that? Like, what was that season? Was it season 3 to 4, or is it 2 to 3?
Was there a big break? Oh, it was 3 to 4. It was the last season.
3 to 4? That was so jarring. I remember that was so
years.
jarring.
I don't know if it was a gap in time. I don't know, but it was it looked different. They came back and it looked different.
That's
yeah,
different studio maybe. Yeah, it sucks.
But it still ended well. It was still
totally well. Just the animation style was complete.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah. Oh, that's a record of Lodos War. I would say it's similar. It reminds me a lot of Yu Yu Hakusho in terms of the animation style.
So, that's like that. In my mind, that's like peak.
All right,
I love
record of Lodos War for you as well. But watch One Punch Man first.
No way. No, I'm not watching One Punch Man first.
Before record of Lodos War. Not you, John. Tony, I think needs to see One Punch Man. You've already seen some One Punch Man. Tony, you dig it.
All right, I'll watch it.
Phil's just like, I'm going to bully someone into watching the damn thing. I want them to watch it.
Andrew, you tell him. Andrew, you've seen it. Tell him.
I don't know. I'm very much enjoying this attempt at upping your win ratio here. No, I concur. I do. One Punch Man is totally worth it. I would probably save it until it's closer to season 3 so you can get into it.
Slide right into next.
It looks like October is kind of the guess right now.
That'd be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
love it.
Just remember, Andrea, I just finished Delicious in Dungeon. So let's remember what we're talking.
Yeah, I understand.
Maybe you want to start now then. So. Probably start
now. We're going to start now.
I mean, you are on track. Just don't save 3 episodes.
That was totally I'm watching it. I'm watching Squirrel. Just solo level. Completely.
It's so funny when you come back to stuff like that and you're just why did I quit then? I was so close.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea why I stopped watching it.
I've done that before though, with just a regular show. You watch all the way and then you forget the finale for some, or you can't watch it and then suddenly you forget you've not watched it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Chris delayed watching House of the Dragon's first season finale for a year. He was I don't know why. I just never finished it. And it took me a while to convince him to try to do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
it happens. You get out of something and then, and
you just get weirdly resistant. You're
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We haven't watched season 3 of several shows like Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
We never went back to watch The Great, Only Murders in the Building. All those season 3s, we just like there was such a big gap between season 2 and season 3 that we just were like, I'm not that into it now. Like it was so long ago, I don't even remember really.
I gotta do Only Murder. Season 3, Ted Lasso. It ends like they did such a good job. Just like chef kiss. That show came.
I really liked it, but I've moved past it. I just can't. I don't know.
Oh, I re-binged like a little bit ago the first 2 seasons, so I could like actually sit down and watch season 3, which I am planning to do.
Sure.
Nicole,
maybe someday I will. I don't know.
It's on constantly. Yeah. So like, I'm pretty sure I've seen seasons 1, 2, and 3 at least 3 times.
I love it. Such a good show.
It is really good. But it's past.
Well, it's 9:41. We're gonna wrap up just before 9:45 here. So I think we're
at you keeping us on time.
You know, not bad. So thank you all for being here. Tony, it's been a while. Glad you could make it back.
Yay.
Thanks for having
me. Keep watching this show on a week-to-week basis. Everybody, keep an eye out for us. We'll be covering more stuff in the anime world. We've got, Soul Leveling will definitely be on. Mm-hmm. We will definitely get to Apothecary Diaries at some point. We've just talked now about Record of Lotus War as like a classic we can look back at. Definitely. So there'll probably be a My Happy Marriage at some point. So all kinds of things. If there's a new hotness that we must watch, that Phil, you can convince Phil, to convince us. Kind of chain reaction here.
I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah. Then
I can,
go ahead and shoot those in the comments. And we're live now on YouTube, X, and Twitch, so you can follow us on those places. This also goes up on to podcast directories. So just Popcast on the Rocks is kind of everything for a podcast. So on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever, you can follow us there. We have our separate YouTube channel, Ohio Anime, if you want just the anime stuff on YouTube. And we'll be back actually tomorrow. Normally it'd be every other week. We kind of like mash it up funny. We'll be back tomorrow with a regular Popcast on the Rocks. We'll be live in the same place we are right now. And it'll be, we're talking Nosferatu, the latest Nosferatu. So
is that pretty cool?
You have to tune in tomorrow and find out.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
All right.
Way to be mysterious, John.
Yeah. All right. Andrea, Phil, Tony, thank you all for being here. And we'll see you next time.